Billionaire Frank Giustra has been successfully catching gold cycles and profiting through a buy and build strategy. One of his companies called Next Gold is advancing the development of a gold project in Ontario, Canada, and we'll be interviewing the president, Morgan Lekstrom, as we go for a workout with him along the seawall of Vancouver,
All right,
BC.
well, we have about 76 million shares outstanding, $14 million in cash in the bank. Joined the capital markets 3 years ago, started working with the Frank Giustra Group about a year and a half ago now.
Beautiful Vancouver. Today we're going for a walk and a little workout. Joined with us today is Director and President of Next Gold Mining, Morgan Lekstrom. Good to have you with us today.
Yeah, good to have you. Nice early morning. I like it.
100%. I'd like to, before going into the company, what's your background? I know you've worked with really big mining companies. You've traveled almost all the world for it, right? How did you start?
Yeah, started at about the age of 22 in mining, but at the age of 24, I was working for Freeport in Indonesia, Grasberg, one of the largest mines in the world. And then transitioned over to Oyu Tolgoi, Mongolia for a number of years. So spent a lot of time around the world between that, Africa, Peru, Canada, working with a lot of different mining companies, taking projects through development into production onto operations. So a bit of a unique background in the capital markets as well.
Right. So your goal really was to bring them to production. And then for capital markets, were you raising a bit as well?
In the past 3 years, yeah. Joined the capital markets 3 years ago. Started working with the Frank Giustra Group about a year and a half ago now. And that's really where Next Gold was born, a couple different iterations of companies together. And now we got a nice 3 million ounce resource, buildable, and a builder team. So
right. So what's the vision for that? Are you planning to maybe sell the company, or no, you really want to build it, bring it to production?
Well, I mean, look, we have a team to build it with people like Jeremy Wyeth as CEO, and the mine builder. We split those roles really nicely. And then Jim Gowan's on the board. Jim's, ex-president of Barrick, ex-CEO of De Beers, probably the most notable mine builder in Canadian history. So you have all the right team. Oren Baranowski, CFO, someone that's, financed mine builds before. You have Rachel Pinot, who's dealt with communities and IBA negotiations and other things of that importance with permitting. So you have all the right pieces. You have the right finance side with Frank and Sprott and Extract all in there. So yeah, kind of want to build a real mining company.
Yeah, and where are the assets located?
So we're in Dryden, Ontario, northwestern Ontario. We're about 15 minutes out of town, right off the Trans-Canada Highway. Power lines going right through the property. So you have infrastructure local. Not only do you have that, you have a local potential workforce. So again, when you look at where you want to build a project and how you want to build a gold mine, you almost couldn't get a better location.
So I want to know, speculators and investors have a lot of assets that they can invest in. It can be real estate, it can be crypto, other vessels. Why would they get involved in a junior mining company like yours?
Leverage. It's all about leverage, from exploration into production. So the idea is you get leverage to gold price, and you get leverage to an asset and a team that can execute versus other areas like crypto and, areas that have gone through up and down cycles. Now we're at a point where we found the gold and we're ready to build it. This is when huge value is created very quickly. So we're at that bottom of that curve that helps out with that. And it's going to get interesting.
And gold is at an all-time high right now as well, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
All right.
So next question, I'd like to know a little bit about the structure of, share structure really, the ownership of the company as well.
All right, well, we have about 76 million shares outstanding, $14 million in cash in the bank. We have Frank Giustra, who's a little over 10%, Extract Capital out of the US, just around 10%, Sprott Capital and Asset Management about 10%. And the rest of management, techs on our share roster, about total of about 60% between that and some of the institutions. So really only about 42% of our cap structure is retail and heavily out to public. So we're tight. We're a tight vehicle that has a 3 million ounce gold resource. We'll be producing about 110,000 ounces a year when we're in production. We're at the final stages of our permitting We've got a 25,000 meter drill program running, and we'll have a ton of news flow coming out of this. So it's gonna get exciting. Feasibility study comes out here in Q1, construction decision in Q3.
Oh, so those are some good milestones to keep an eye out for. You mentioned you have $14 million in the bank. What's your plan with that money? Are you going to drill and keep drilling?
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of a hybrid approach where we're going after and finishing that feasibility study and the final permitting and all that fun items, and all the, like I said, the permitting, the fees, you have IBAs going on. So again, that's one side of the equation. The other side is, this is a district. There's 65 kilometers of strike, which means for non-mining people, you have the resource where the gold lives between two potential open pits. There's 25 kilometers between there. And then the entire length of the property we own is 65 kilometers, still wide open for exploration. We've only probably gone over about 10% of the property, maybe 12. So imagine how much more exploration, how many more pits we could find, undergrounds. Both the resources are wide open, which means there's lots more to be found there. And we're running a 25,000 meter drill program to do it.
100%. You also mentioned, obviously, Frank Giustra. How's the relationship been with him? Has he been almost like a mentor? I know he comes to the office probably sometimes for meetings as well, right? So,
oh yeah, like very much like a mentor. You know, someone that's done this buy build strategy so many times successfully, starting with a base asset like this. Like, you know, you look at Endeavor, you look at Goldcorp, you look at Lea Gold, Aris, you get these mines that either are slightly in production or coming into a build phase, hence the buy build strategy. That's been amazing working with him. He has just a wealth of knowledge and so many different facets. You know, he spans many industries, right? Between Lionsgate Films and others. So you get a bit of a diverse approach with him. So yeah, absolute mentor and someone I look up to, but you know, I'm almost 40 and apparently I'm young in this industry. So I think 40 in the tech industry would be considered old.
Yeah, totally. No, it must be amazing working with him, especially because, you know, he's an entrepreneur that's touched other industries, like you mentioned, film. I think he has some olive oil as well, olive oil company.
Yeah, that's good olive oil, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you guys have it for drinks in the office or what?
Well, we don't drink it.
A couple shots of olive oil in the morning, no?
Yeah, apparently it keeps my skin tone nice.
There you go.
Yeah, no. Again, someone that's just a pure entrepreneur, right?
Totally.
That spirit, once you're around it, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that have done things that you want to do, right? Like the idea in the industry of, you know, or in the world of completely going out and revolutionizing and changing something, like for the most part, someone's done it somewhere. Find them.
Yeah.
Attach yourself to them. And, you know, I want to build mining companies. Cool. Find the guy that's built mining companies, you know, Frank, and been so lucky to be able to work with him.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd like to know on your part as a CEO, what's like one of the biggest challenges you've come across, or, you know, a hurdle you've had to overcome?
Like personally, or?
Yeah, just in general, or things that are tough, like something that you know, think is really challenging for you in the industry. You know, there's also it's cyclical as well, right? So there's down in the market in general. Like, how do you deal with that?
You know, you hear this a lot. The market's down, the stock's cratering, or something like that about other companies, and I just get more contrarian. Kind of like how Rick Rule thinks about that. He goes, the best time to invest is whenever else is running, you know?
Yeah.
So he did that with uranium. He's done that with gold. These people like Frank come in at a certain time.
So timing is super important.
Frank's timed gold over and over and over because he takes I think, and what I, you know, paraphrasing here, is he takes the view that there's an inflection point. It's usually economic driven with gold and macro. And he goes, okay, now it's time to get, you know, 6 months, a year and a bit early, put all these companies together in the right way, make that Play-Doh, build the house, you know?
Totally.
And that's where, you know, what we're doing at Next Gold is a buy build strategy whereas we have the right team now to do it, we have the right asset to start with, and now we can start bolting on assets that are buildable. The idea of getting to 2 to 400,000 ounces per year is not only a goal to get to, but it's just a starting point, right? We'd like to do that in the next 4 or 5 years. There are projects out there. There are companies available, it's very difficult to find a team that can execute and build. That's actually one of the most difficult components. The financial backer, the team that can build it and do it, but also the ability to go out, recognize value, and bring that in. That's where people like Frank and our team in the background can come out and say, okay, hey, there's value in this. Let's look at how that fits in.
Totally. And I'd like to know a bit more even about your personal background for track and field. You were a hammer thrower?
I was a hammer thrower, yeah.
Trained with the Olympic team, with Olympians?
Well, I trained with Dylan Armstrong up in Kamloops, and I wouldn't say I was an Olympian or anything like that, but had an amazing experience. Talk about discipline. Holy moly, you know what it's like. You were a track athlete.
Yeah.
You know, we were training 6 days a week and going to university at the same time, and you didn't get much time for anything else.
You went to TRU then, or?
I did, yeah, a long time ago.
Great. So you were training with them. How do you use all that discipline into work right now? You know, you're probably pretty dialed.
Yeah, I think it ebbs and flows. I think you need time to decompress, to relax, especially in high stress environments. But I feel like the athletic side really helped me understand how to deal with stress.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people can deal with stress in different ways. For me, I just I go work out, clear my brain, and then go back to it, right? Like, stress is what you let it do to you. People say stress is, it's this and that. I just kind of look at it. Am I waking up in the morning? I have a 6-year-old. Is he waking up in the morning? Are we fed? Do we got not, the basics are covered? Are the beds made? And you just start that every day.
Yeah, it's
that mentality.
That routine work.
The routine, that discipline of every day doing that.
That's great. We're wishing you all the luck in the world. I'll throw the ticker on the screen here. We'll throw the links to their website, email, phone number. If you're interested in the company, you can probably call them.
Yeah, call me anytime. I receive lots of midnight calls from out-of-towners.
Do you want to add something else before we close the interview?
Yeah, just remember, when you're looking at a company to invest in the gold space, you want to ensure you have the right team. You want to ensure you have the right financial backers. I mean, that's kind of the whole model here. And you want to ensure that the vision meets with what you want to invest in. For us, it's creating a mid-tier through a buy-build strategy with a solid 3 million ounce, 110,000 ounce per year production profile right off the bat. We'll be cash flowing $150 to $200 million a year when we're in production, free cash. That's, as a business model, makes a lot of sense. So the right way, the right time, take a look at the website, do your own due diligence, but reach out to management. And I'm always available.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.